Okay, so I just want to make a quick video and show anyone how to fix a Boukenger morpher that is really hard to flip open. So the way this works is it's super simple. There's 4 screws up top, and then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws on the bottom. And there's nothing super complicated, so whenever you take off these 6 screws on the bottom, what is going to happen? Okay, so I've already partially taken this apart. It's just easier to show you this way. It's going to look like this, but this is going to be attached here by these 2 screws here. And then this will pop off. There's nothing special about this, no fancy gears. Just make sure you do not lose this pin that allows this bearing to spin. So I'm just going to take that out and put it there so it doesn't fall out. Okay, so for me this is a little more difficult because one of my screws is stripped. So I had to take a little flathead and kind of pry this open without breaking it. And if you look in there, there is a little a little spring with a pin. And what that does is there's 3 little grooves here, and this is what allows it to spin. And then that pushes this pin, trying to get to focus. So each one of those grooves pushes this pin down. You can kind of push it down with your finger. It's not super hard. But what happens over time is that spring gets really old and it gets harder to press, and then it makes this really terrible grinding sound, and it's hard to flip open the morpher. So for me, what I did was I pried this open and I took out that spring and I just trimmed it. And so that way it would be a little easier to press, because the shorter the spring is, the less pressure you have to push to get it to go in. So I'll show you the amount I trimmed mine. Literally that much. And I did try and look at replacing the spring with springs from like a pin. That didn't work. The spring from all the pins I had were too wide. But I was able to just take some needle nose pliers that had a little sharp end there and break off that. And you always want to do just a little amount at a time. For me, I got lucky and the first cut was the right amount, and now it flips open right. But I don't know where to get a new spring from, so just do like a small trim and try it again. Small trim, try it again. Because if you cut too much and your thing, if it cuts too much, then this is just going to swing freely and it's never going to lock into place. So now to put this back together, I'm going to pop this little card in there that shows what's on the screen. Okay, had to pause the camera because I was struggling to get that little piece of cardboard back in there, but it's in there now. So you want to take this and point it to the top, make sure the arrow is facing the right way, and then we can put these screws in first. Doesn't really matter. The 2 black ones go on the top. Okay. So now you gotta line up these 2 parts, and these screws hold it there. Make sure it's firm, but don't like tighten it down too much. You don't want to strip the little plastic that it goes into. So now I'll just show you how easy this is. That was near impossible to do with even 2 hands before, and now I can easily do it with one-handed. Make sure your pin is back in here. And then we're gonna finish closing it up. That spins. I actually picked this morpher up for about $25 US. The people I bought it from said that the gear was broken, so they didn't know what was wrong with it. They just couldn't get it to open. And when I tested it, the electronics worked, and I'm pretty good with electronics and mechanical stuff, so I just thought I'd give it a shot and try and fix it myself. When I looked online, I couldn't find anything where someone was showing how to fix this, so I just thought I'd give it a shot, and I was able to do it, so I wanted to share with everyone. Okay, so shortly after I put this back together and it was working properly, it stopped working again. So this time I decided to drill out the hole that was preventing me from opening this part, and now I can show you guys better what that spring in there looks like. So I'll pop this out. And I think what is happening is that over time this has become sharper because a little piece of that plastic has been broken off and it's rough now. So whenever this is in between here and it goes in between the grooves of the little dial part, so I think it's getting stuck in between the grooves in there because now it's sharper and not as rounded, and it can't slide as easily. So I'm going to try and round that off just a little bit and put it back together, and then we will test it. Okay, so you don't want to do too much, but that seems to have made it significantly easier. So it appears that was part of the problem. All right. So something that's really cool is if it's just sitting on, it'll start ringing like an actual cell phone after so long, and in Japanese it'll tell you that like the bad guys are attacking, and you kind of get to open it up and role play like the Rangers are calling you to go help. I'll speed it up so you don't have to wait forever, but I'll show you here in a sec. So yeah guys, that's it. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. Just so you know, Quantum Force Episode 1 is almost done. We're just waiting on some final VFX edits, and then it'll be out early 2025. Thanks again guys. See you in the next one.